Back in March 2023, I had the honor, privilege, and pleasure of attending the inaugural Valkyrie International Film Festival, kickstarted by the formidable mother-daughter team Tamar and Kaylin Lamberson. It was an exhilarating experience for me. I was only there for a short time, but I consumed so much art in that time frame, and I got to meet so many amazing filmmakers, and I even roped in a few for some interviews. Kristen Skeet was one of them. Kristen is a director, producer, author, and screenwriter, and her award-winning short film, Alone, screened the same day that we met. She sat down with me for a few minutes to talk about her experience making the short and her experiences in filmmaking in general. Please enjoy my interview with the wonderful Kristen Skeet.
I have two films here. One is a micro short called Alone, and it was a film, it's only about a minute and a half. I filmed it during COVID, and I did all of the work, and I directed it, I wrote it, the cinematography. It was just me and my camera in my house and in my yard, basically. And then the other film is a short film called Infatuation, which is kind of horror, thriller, kind of goes in between those two genres. And it's about a woman who plans on having a cozy night at home, or a cozy night, and things go awry. And that's an ensemble piece.
Mm-hmm. What was your favorite part of making those films, and what was some of the challenges it faced?
My favorite part of Infatuation was working with the people. We work with Ty Chayman, Paul McGinnis, Heather Dunham, Jennifer Richardson. We're just kind of a close-knit group, and this is our fourth or fifth film together, so we kind of know how everybody works. And so that's fun. It doesn't feel like work when we're together. It's just, doing what we love. And I'm not sure I like too much about Alone. I guess it kind of pulled me out of my COVID. I shot the footage in late October, early November of 2020, and I'd kind of just been alone. Mm-hmm. I didn't want to see my parents because I didn't want to get them sick. So I was really just kind of alone and kind of feeling uncreative and just like blah. And so I guess my favorite part about that is I got my camera out and I didn't know what I was going to do with the footage. I just started shooting, and it just happened to be the time of year where everything's gray and dank, and the street light outside my house started being on the fritz, so I'm like, well, I'm going to record that because I can use that for something at some point, and that all turned into Alone. So I guess that's what I liked about Alone, was it kind of sparked my creativity again.
That's really nice. How did you get into filmmaking at first? What ignited the passion in the first place?
That's a good question. I'm an author too, and I've always kind of written stories. My degree is in teaching, and I think you said that too. You were a teacher, right? Yeah, my degree is in phys ed and health teaching. And while I was in school, when I was in college, I knew I didn't want to do that. But it was just, I was an athlete in school, and that's just what athletes did, so that's what I did. Because I didn't know what I wanted to be when I grew up. I still really don't know what I want to be when I grow up, except creative. So I just keep doing this stuff, and my first film was called Murder Creek, and that was me and my friend Sherry McCutcheon and Anita Harmon. We were in New York City to see a Broadway play, and we were in our hotel room, and we just kind of all realized we had all wanted to make a film, and so we just kind of decided, that was in, I think, June of 2017, that, hey, let's do it, let's make a film. So I think I'd started writing Murder Creek. It was a much different script then than what it turned out to be. But I started writing, I had a little bit of that, and then we added on to that. Started out as like a 4-page script and ended up being 17 pages, so the four pages would have been much easier for a first film, but of course, no, I threw like 4 or 5 different more characters into it, so I guess that's what started the filmmaking, but I've always felt that creative drive. So.
What age, more or less, did you feel that drive?
I think I've always felt it. I didn't really understand. I've always felt the desire to not really perform, but to affect people, I guess, in some way. Like when I was a kid, I had dreams of being, I don't know, a rock star or movie star, or, it's really hard to explain, but I always felt that. I can remember as a kid making jokes and making people laugh and feeling that energy and like, oh, that's something I like. I was an athlete too, as I said, and that was performing in front of people, and that always felt good. You make a shot or a goal and people cheer, and it's like, oh, I really like performing for people.
You.
Yeah, well, thank you very much. And I always wrote fan fiction. Like I wrote X-Files fan fiction in like 9th grade. I wrote CSI fan fiction, so I always wrote but it took me till probably my late 20s, early 30s to realize I could actually write my own stuff and put it out there into the world and not just piggyback on other people's characters. So that's when that happened. I was 28, 29.
So what projects do you have coming up?
I am just about to publish my 4th cozy mystery novel. I'm focusing on cozy mysteries right now, and it's a series, and it's called A Theft Bound to Happen, and that's coming out at the end of April, so I've got to get that finished. And then we're going to start pre-production on the first feature film that I'll be directing by myself. It's a horror spoof homage to like the Friday the 13th campground films, and it's called Slasher Days of Summer. And that's, again, it's a film that Ty Chaman wrote, and it's the same group coming back together, and we have additional actors coming in to help us out. So I think we're going to shoot that in September, possibly July. I'd rather shoot in September because it won't be quite as hot outside. And I'm hot all the time now. So it'll be July or September, but that's the next one that we'll be working on.
That's really exciting.
Yeah.
What made you want to submit to this festival in particular?
I really like the idea of women filmmakers, obviously, because I think we're underrepresented, and there's so many reasons why. And I love Tamar, and I'm so impressed by Kaylin. She's such a bright young woman, and so obviously I wanted to support them too. But I think sometimes women are pitted against each other. Like there's I don't know, stereotype that the catty women, they don't really support each other. They're always competitive with each other, and this was a really good way to showcase that women, I'm sure there's some outliers out there, but women are really supportive of each other, and we can be competitive at the same time and also be supportive. So I really like the idea of women filmmakers. So
I mean, fortune teller is kind of like that.
Yes.
Like these two women are literally at their throat.
Yes, right.
With all the baggage that they bring to the table, and yet they're going to work on a thing together.
Yes, right, yeah. And there's so many films too. There's such a diverse, there's the film that's coming to mind is Misunderstood Monster, which is about the menstrual cycle, and it's a very woman-focused film. But there's also horror shorts that you would never, or features, or just regular features that you would never know came from a woman. It just could have been a man, and so it's nice to see that.
What would you tell female filmmakers that want to make their first movie?
Do it on your cell phone. If you're a writer, write it down. Get a friend to look at it. But if you want to make a film, do it. Don't worry about the sound. Don't worry about, for your first film, just do it and get the experience. And don't be afraid. Or be afraid. Fear is fine, but push past the fear. I've always said the best things in my life have happened when I was terrified and pushed past the fear. Like an interview, 10 years ago, doing an interview like that would have scared me to death, and I wouldn't have done it, like being in front of the camera, because I'm behind the camera, So Alone was the first time I put myself in front of the camera. It's just this part of myself, and that was just because it was me with the camera. So, but just do it. If you want to do it, do it.
That's wonderful.
Yeah. Google's your friend.
Yeah.
I never did film school. I never did, I Googled everything, bought books. You can do it. If I can do it, you can do it.
That's really, really nice.
Yeah, thank you.
And I never went to film school either, and that's kind of the thesis of the Friendly Filmmaker.
Yeah.
In general, I didn't go to film school. You don't need to go to film school. It helps, but it also isn't necessary.
Right. It helps for the technical terms and it
gives you a little bit of a linguistic background for it.
Yeah, because there's sometimes having a professional on set, they say terms and I'm like, what's that? Like the first Murder Creek, when we made it, our sound guy Adam Block, he was like, I need to get some room tone. And me and Sherry and Anita were like, what's room tone? And he was really cool about explaining stuff to us. But it's that sort of, and you learn as you go. The more films you make, you learn it more.
Exactly. Yeah, that's what we're trying to do too. Is anybody can pick it up.
Yeah.
If they want to. If you have that creativity, if that little spark and that little muse is talking to you, go for it.
Absolutely. Yep.
I love it. Where can people find you and keep up with your stuff?
My website is kristenskeet.com, so KRISTENSKEET.com. That's got my books and my films. And on Facebook, just search Kristen Skeet. I think I'm the only Kristen Skeet in the world, to be honest with you. So so you search Facebook, that'll come up.
Thank you so much for agreeing.
Thank you for wanting to interview me.
Show everybody your award.
Oh, yes. I won Outstanding Micro Short
Yay, hooray!
Yes.
Yes,
For a long-
congratulations.
Thank you
again.
very much. I
Very nice.
appreciate that.
Kristen is currently in post-production for her next film, Slasher Days of Summer, which is a comedy horror. I can't wait to see this. You can follow her various exploits at her website, kristenskeet.com, and other social links that I'll post below. I want to thank Kristen again for joining me on the show and letting me interview her. And if you enjoyed this interview, then ring the bell for notifications because I've got more interviews in the bank from fellow filmmakers, and you won't want to miss a thing. I've even got some from the creators of VIF themselves, so you won't want to miss that. Thanks for watching, like and subscribe to all the things, and go out there and make some movies. Bye!
Friendly Filmmaker is a Tuba Creations production. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Find us on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and Mastodon. And if you like what we do, consider supporting us on Ko-fi with either a one-time donation or a membership. Members get all sorts of great perks. Check out kofi.com/friendlyfilmmaker for more. That's ko-fi.com/friendlyfilmmaker. Thanks for watching.